For us, it's a daily thing.
It's every day, right?
This is Mammoth Daily
We're going to take you inside the locker room
with Mike Fulta.
We want this show to be about the fans, and we want this show to be driven by our Utah Mammoth community.
And Adrian Denny.
Fans can submit what they want to hear us talk about, what they want to hear Utah weigh in on. It's all going to be here.
Here's Mike and AD with you.
Utahns, countrymen, lend me your ears.
Right here on Mammoth Daily.
Good Monday, everybody. And yes, it is the Mammoth with a big comeback win on Sunday in Pittsburgh. They were down 3-0 in the third period, and Nate Schmidt got the comeback started for Utah, and they would get things rolling. That's all they needed. Just one against the Pittsburgh Penguins. 15 seconds later, Michael Carcone would come out of the faceoff circle, won a puck off a faceoff. Utah lost, came back down and scored. And just like that, it was 3-2. Sean Durzi made it 3-3. Questionable challenge, put Utah on the power play in a tie game, made it 4-3. And then Dylan Guenther won it in overtime. We'll talk all about it here on Mammoth Daily. How you doing? Welcome in, everybody. Adrian Denny with you. And happy holidays from Holiday if you're watching on YouTube. Christmas trees up. You see the clear lights. Mike will take credit for those. It was just the first tree I had in my storage unit that I grabbed, had the clear lights. We'll do colored lights next year. Those were just kind of pushed back a ways and just reached for the first Christmas tree that I had there in the storage unit. So Mike gets his clear lights. If you're watching on YouTube or SCG Plus, you see that. Welcome aboard. For those of you on Apple and Spotify, a good Monday to you as well. We've got so much to cover, and thanks for joining us here on Mammoth Daily. Make sure you subscribe to us, share us, tell your friends. The more the merrier. We're with you Monday through Friday here on Mammoth Daily. I'm Adrian Denny, your radio host on Hockey Night in Utah. Mike Fulta, your radio play-by-play announcer on Hockey Night in Utah, will be along coming up with his morning after. Well, how about that? What were you thinking at the second intermission, folks? Were you watching? Did you stay tuned? Did you watch the comeback for the Mammoth as they put up 4 goals in 5 minutes and 59 seconds to erase the deficit and take the lead? That was even faster than they did it in St. Louis on October 23rd when they were off to a hot start in a game. They scored 4 goals in a 7-minute and 37-second span. Even faster than St. Louis, the Mammoth, getting things going. We'll get to Mike in his morning after coming up. I'll give you my thoughts. Our Monday morning power play has the top 5 stories of the week. And we're going to watch some of our guys push a car out of a snowdrift coming up in our third period. So stay tuned. All coming up on Mammoth Daily. Let's start with Utah head coach Andre Tourigny digesting and giving us his thoughts on the 5-4 overtime win for the Mammoth.
What I did like is the guy in the room and on the bench, they said the right thing all night long. They didn't panic. Obviously, that did not go the way we wanted for a little while in terms of score, but we were playing well, and the guys stayed with it, and we believed we needed to get an ugly one, a rebound or something like that in the third, and when we got the first one, then we were rolling pretty good. I think we did a lot of good stuff. In the first 2 periods, we could not get our shot through. They blocked a lot of shots. We could have be a little bit quicker in our execution to get some puck through, and having some deflection on the side as well will help our shooting volume and open up the floodgate. But I really like the way the guys respond.
You know, as we were watching the game, it's 3-0 at the second intermission, and you're thinking, this is going to be an uphill climb. And for the Mammoth, they just kind of stayed with it. Shot attempts at the second intermission were 52-17. Goals for expected for Utah, 2.71 to 0.74, meaning if you played the game in a computer and simulated it, it would be 2.71 to Utah at 0.74 for Pittsburgh at the second intermission. Mammoth stuck with it. You know, this team's been through some ups and downs, but you get to a point as they played game number 34 on Sunday that, this team might just have clicked. They know what works. They know what wins. They've got a belief that when they're playing how they know that they can play and how they want to, they're going to win games. I mean, percentages are really low when you're down 3-0 at the second intermission and you've given up 3 goals off of turnovers, as Utah did. I don't think you win many games when you give up 3 goals off of turnovers. And what are the chances Pittsburgh's going to blow another big lead at home for the second straight day? They were up 5-1 in the third period against San Jose on Saturday, lost 6-5 in overtime. So percentages of giving up 3 goals off turnovers and then blowing another big lead, it can't be great. But the Mammoth didn't look at the percentages, didn't look at their goals for expected, goals against expected. They just kept going. And I think as they've now won 2 straight, and 4 of 7, that's a little bit of a trend. 4 of 7, with 3 losses tied or within a goal in the third period. And there's something you can take from everything. And you saw the Mammoth fall behind against Seattle on Friday, and stay composed and stay with it. And they've been able to generate momentum in both these games as well. So back on the border of that wild card. I'll give you more of my thoughts coming up, but let's get Mike Fulta's thoughts, your radio play-by-play announcer for the Mammoth, on hockey night in Utah. Here's what he saw as he exited the PPG Paints Arena.
All right, welcome into Mike's Morning After. It is freezing outside. We are just outside of PPG Paints Arena. This is going to be a quick one. I have no microphone because my hands don't work. There's that, but game of the year for the Utah Mammoth, and it was the third period of the year is probably a better way to say it. You get 4 goals in 6 minutes, and we were just talking to some Pittsburgh folks, and they've been really struggling in third periods lately. They have now blown 4 straight third period leads, and they knew right when Nate Schmidt scored that first one, just over a minute into the third, they knew that the comeback was on. I was not quite that confident. I think when we got the second one from Carconi that quickly, that's when it felt like we were rolling. By the Pittsburgh folks, right when that first goal went in, they knew. I think this is a great game for all of us. I say us because I'm included in this. All of us who have always said, or have said since this team moved to Utah, this team needs to learn how to win. This team has to learn how to finish games. This team has to learn how to close out games, all that. This game is a reminder that it goes the opposite way too. And as much as, we think like, okay, this team can't finish. This team struggles to win these tight games or to win when it's hard or to get that last goal when it's hard. As much as we might say that or think that, this kind of proves the opposite. And it's not an indictment. One game is not a set in stone order, but the Mammoth fought back in this game after they had chances, but nothing to show for it through the first 40 minutes, and we're down 3. And it's just a reminder that as much as we might be frustrated with this team when they're in their skids, like they had been throughout a lot of November, there is a finishing ability within this group. There is a knowledge of how to win in this group. There's a stick-to-itiveness, if that's a word or group of words, to this group. We heard it from Sean Dursey on our postgame. He was talking about this group sticking together and knowing that if they got one, the rest were going to fall. And I think this group deserves as much credit for this win as much that's equal to the grief that they've gotten when they've come up short throughout November and stretches of the season so far this year. So you win 2 in a row now, and you feel good to start the road trip. That's a huge comeback, I think, not just because of the 2 points tonight, but because of what it sets you up for the rest of the way on this road trip as well. You got a couple games. Am I right in front of your car? Sorry. No, you're good. It sets you up for this road trip, and this is a gettable road trip against gettable teams. Boston, a team you've already beat. Detroit, a team that's like still figuring itself out a little bit. I just think my main takeaway is like that learn to win argument. Yeah, Mammoth still need to learn how to play consistently, win consistently, but they did it tonight. And for every time that you say that this team needs to learn how to win, you got to remember nights like this.
Wouldn't be a Mike's morning after without Mike dodging traffic, dodging cars, being in somebody's way, but he gets the job done for us, especially here on Mammoth Daily. He'll be back with me on the full episode coming up on Tuesday for our mailbag edition. So the Mammoth just kind of stuck with it. There wasn't a speech. There wasn't adjustments. They knew what they were doing was the brand they wanted to play. Sean Dursey saying, yeah, did we make some mistakes? Yeah, they all three ended up in the back of the net, but they did what the percentages said probably wasn't going to happen, and that's erased a 3-0 deficit in the third period when you've given up 3 goals self-inflicted. And they also did this to Pittsburgh. First time in NHL history that a team has ever blown third period leads of at least 3 goals on consecutive days. Also, first time ever that a team has just done it in consecutive games. Didn't even have to be on a back-to-back. First time a team in the NHL has blown a 3-goal lead in 2 straight games in the third period. So as we look at our Mammoth Daily bingo card that we put together on Friday, me and Mike, for our free-for-all, and, things to look for when the Mammoth are going to be successful. Consecutive goals. They scored 4 consecutive goals. They gave up 3 consecutive goals, but they scored 4 consecutive goals. Power play, 1 for 5. Got another power play goal. That's 5 power play goals in the last 7. Mammoth, when they get a power play goal, 9-3-1 on the year. Perfect on the PK again. That's 7 straight games and 8 of the last 9. That November wasn't an accident. They did give up 4 in 2 games late in the month, but they're back on that November pace. They won special teams. The Stars scored. Schmaltz had an assist. We'll get to more on Nick Schmaltz coming up on our Monday morning power play. Dylan Guenther got that overtime game winner. More on him coming up in our Monday morning power play. But the Stars were involved, and they gave up goals in the first 5 and last 5 of a period. In all cases, first 6 minutes or last 6 minutes, they give up all the goals. So they give up consecutive goals early, goals late, but they win the bingo card with more consecutive goals, power play, 1 special teams, Stars scored. So a nice one for the Utah Mammoth in Pittsburgh. And on to Boston. Adrian Denny with you here on Mammoth Daily. We're about to get to our Monday morning power play and our top 5 stories going into the week. But it's a nice one on Sunday. Those 2 goals in 15 seconds, by the way, fastest consecutive goals in team history. Mikhail Sergachev and Nick Bjugstad got 2 in 17 seconds on November 13th of 2024. When we come back, we'll give you our top 5 stories of the week. Nick Schmaltz, Dylan Guenther. Talk about the team effort. We'll talk about creating offense. We'll talk about comeback wins. And we'll talk about a couple big trades in the NHL and how the teams did after their trades. So stay close, folks. We are coming right back on this Monday edition of Mammoth Daily.
Get ready for the Monday morning power play.
Welcome back inside. We're ready for our Monday morning power play as the Mammoth heading to Boston after last night's game. They'll be in Boston tomorrow at 5, Wednesday at 5:30. They will be in Detroit. Let's get to our Monday morning power play, and let's start it off with Nick Schmaltz. How valuable is he for the Mammoth? 8-1 when he scores a goal, 14-4-1 when he gets a point, 1-11-2 when he doesn't get a point. He was in front of the net for Utah's first goal on Sunday, scored by Nate Schmidt and it just kind of bounced off of him, went right to number 88, who put it in, and you saw it right here. The goal that he got on Friday, going hard to the net, but he made a play, got a goal on that breakaway for the Mammoth on Friday night. So Nick Schmaltz, your number one story out of 5 as we start our Monday morning power play. Do you want to get to Dylan Guenther getting that power play goal for the Mammoth on Friday that made it a 2-1 game, make it a 3-2 game for the Mammoth? Another big goal, gave Utah a lead that they wouldn't relinquish. He's got 5 goals in 5 games without Logan Cooley. He had 8 points in 5 games with Logan not in the lineup last year when he was in the lineup coming back from an injury. He's got 14 game-winning goals in the last 2 seasons. He's got 3 overtime game-winning goals this year. He's got 5 total game-winning goals this year. 9 of his goals this year have given Utah the lead, and 6 goals in December for Guenther, second most in the NHL. So Dylan Guenther is your number 2 story, and always huge for the Mammoth. He finds a way to get big goals. And after the game on Sunday, we heard from head coach Andre Tourigny and Sean Dursey on Dylan Guenther.
No, he's elite. Like it's awesome to watch. But I think what's so special about Gunner is he cares about, improving his game and getting better. I think that's so important. Is he's not satisfied with his shot, even though it is one of the elite ones. You see him working on it constantly, and he misses the corner one time. I saw a hole about this big, and he's kind of upset and he wants to hit that. So I think that competitiveness and that fire to continue to get better and really care about his craft is what makes him special. And I think that's so young. We got a hell of a player there.
Well, obviously the skill, the shot, everything, but he doesn't change the way he played when the pressure come up. He wants to be. He believes he will do it. He's I always remember that video when he scored the golden goal for Canada. It was kind of, he scored, he's in the glass, it's like another day at the office. He was expecting to score. It's not like, really? He was expecting, and he's like that since then.
Let's hear from Dylan Guenther on that game-winning goal that he scored.
I don't think I usually would have shot that one. Bear was yelling change, but it felt like they were just gapped out a little bit and could shoot it through the D, so luckily it went in.
So there is Dylan Guenther. Number 3 on our top 5 stories of the week here on a Monday Morning Power Play. Team effort without Logan Cooley again. On Sunday, 11 players had a point. 3 out of Utah's 4 forward lines had a goal. The second power play unit scored a goal. On Friday against Seattle, 3 of the 4 lines had a goal. The first power play unit scored a goal. Mammoth have 5 goals in 2 straight games. They have 3 or more goals in 10 of their last 13 games. They're 16-6 this season when they score 3 goals or more, and they're starting to get some more offense going. How about firing the puck? We had heard from some of the guys after morning skate on Friday before Utah played Seattle as we get to number 4 and shots here on the Monday Morning Power Play, and talking about just, firing the puck. And did they ever? They have 2 of the top 3 shot attempt games in team history in the last 2 games. 77 on Friday, 78 shot attempts on Sunday. On Friday, all 18 skaters had at least a shot on goal. Utah outshot attempted Pittsburgh 78-30 on Sunday. Outshot them 37-16. Nick Schmaltz, a franchise record, 9 shots. JJ Peterka, 8. Mike Carcone, a career high 5 shots on goal. So the group continuing to keep pushing forward. Let's get to number 5 here on our Monday Morning Power Play. It was the 9th comeback win of the season for the Mammoth. 9 of their 16 wins, they've come from behind it. Second time in team history, they've erased a 3-goal deficit in a game. Did it March 10th against Toronto at the Delta Center. Made 3-0, 3-3, lost in overtime. They've been down 2-0 in 3 of their last 4 games, or I should say, in games that they've been down 2-0, they have come back to tie it in 3 of the 4 games, which they've fallen behind 2-0. 3 of the last 4 games, they've fallen behind 2-0. They've come back to tie it. They've given up the first goal in 4 of the last 5. Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal to do it in the first minute on the road for the second straight game, as they did in Calgary, back to wrap up that trip on December 6th. But they're good from coming from behind. So those are your 5 Utah items on the Monday Morning Power Play. And we're going to go extra attacker here with a 6th and talk about the teams since the big trades over the weekend. Quinn Hughes going to Minnesota. He had an assist in a victory over Boston on Sunday night. 6-2. Wild beat the Bruins in his Wild debut. Minnesota also beat Ottawa on Saturday. So they're 2-0 since the trade. They're a little shorthanded on Saturday without Hughes. Vancouver goes into New Jersey after trading Quinn Hughes with their new guys, Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, Zeev Buium, and they beat the Devils 2-1. Buium, a goal and an assist. Edmonton, in their first game since trading Stuart Skinner to Pittsburgh for Tristan Jarry, beats the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-3. On Sunday, they were in Montreal. They didn't play Jarry. They played Pickard on the back-to-back, so we won't count that. But Edmonton, a good start there, winning their first game with Tristan Jarry. And Pittsburgh, poor Pittsburgh. They acquired Brett Kulak and Stuart Skinner from Edmonton in that trade, and they're still waiting for those guys. They are Canadian citizens coming to a U.S. team, so you got to get your immigration signed off on and cleared before you can play or work for a team in the United States. When you're Canadian playing for a team in Canada, just didn't have that immigration settled. So there we go, Monday Morning Power Play with 5 stories because I'm horrible at math and a 6 extra attacker edition here on this Monday Morning Power Play. We got a big third period coming up next for you. We've got our good deed of the day, and we'll hear more from Dylan Guenther on that win and how does Utah keep things going as we roll on. It's the Monday Morning Power Play edition of Mammoth Daily.
This is Mammoth Daily.
Back with you on Mammoth Daily. Team going to go for their 3rd straight win coming up tomorrow in Boston, but we have a few more things to get to here on this Monday Morning Power Play edition. How about Dylan Guenther post game after the contest on Sunday? He had some thoughts just on the game, the way Utah turned it around, and of course, the way that Utah finished it.
Fun game, just fun to win a game where you're down and, collectively everybody's chipping in, and I think that'll bring us a lot of momentum. Yeah, I think just stick with it. I thought we played really well the first 2 periods, so just sticking to the game plan, and it's a good sign for us. Yeah, I think just keep going the same way. It's tough sometimes. You want to change things, but I think when you don't see the outcome, just bear down and make sure you finish your chances. So, we did that in the 3rd, but we were able to get one, and we know that they were maybe a little bit fragile from how the game ended yesterday, so that gave us confidence, I think.
So Dylan Guenther right there on the game Sunday. So the question asked after the game, how do you make it 3 straight? How do you keep going here and turn this into a nice little run going into Christmas?
I think that pace and that urgency, the urgency in the 3rd to, not only play the right way, but bear down and score on your chances. I think if we bring that every game, we got a good chance to win every night.
So the Mammoth going to be in Boston tomorrow night, 5 o'clock. Detroit Wednesday at 5:30, and then back home with the New Jersey Devils Friday at 7. A big division tilt with the Winnipeg Jets on Sunday. Connor Hellebuck is back for Winnipeg, and he won his first start on Saturday night against the Washington Capitals. So that's this week, and then after this week, one more game before Christmas. It'll be at Colorado a week from tomorrow. The rest of the week on Mammoth Daily, got our Tuesday mailbag edition coming up. We've got our Wednesday Odd Man Rush, working on a surprise there. Thursday Expert, and the Friday Free For All. So make sure you're with Mike and I every day here on Mammoth Daily. We saw something nice on Sunday as the team was getting ready to head to the arena. See, that's the team bus right there. There's a Kia Soul stuck in a snowdrift. And you see Oli Mata pushing it right there. You see Oli in the middle. You got our goalie coach, Corey Schwab, right there in the back with the white soles on his dress shoes, as Hunter and Cole from our content team there to get that Kia Soul on its way, and they eventually got it moving. How about that? What a nice, good deed. Oli Mata, Corey Schwab. I can't tell with all the exhaust if there's any other players in there, but I see Cole and company from our content team. So nice job, everybody. You can always stop and lend a hand to a neighbor. We talked about it last week on Pay It Forward Day. So folks, there you go. We flew through it. Your Monday morning power play edition of Mammoth Daily. Mike will be back with me on Tuesday for the full edition Tuesday mailbag. If you got any comments, any questions for our Tuesday mailbag, you can leave them in the YouTube comments. You can hit us up on Twitter at 801 Adrian Denny for me, at Mike_Fulta for him. And you can tell Mike how fast we got through the Monday morning power play. We scored the power play goal in 13 seconds. That's it. We're done. We'll see you tomorrow here on Mammoth Daily.